When I was young, I grew up on a farm. My dad farmed, and he was also an electrician, and I thought I would just be destined to be a farmer. And farming was maybe my only option. You know, when you're young, you don't know what your options are beyond the limits of Hillsborough. I did a lot of art though growing up. I drew in church all the time. I drew people's faces, just like kids draw today. They'll draw in the bulletins mostly. I always did that quite a bit. I entered a lot of 4-H art exhibits, won a couple poster awards when I was young. So I always liked art, but I never thought it would be like you could do art for your future. I just thought it was more of a hobby, which it still is a hobby. About in high school, when you're supposed to decide what do you want to be for forever, I thought maybe I could do English teaching. I really like the language. I like reading. I like writing papers. Like I enjoy when people sound intelligent and there's good word sentence structure, but I don't like reading books. And so that was kind of a downer thinking about being an English teacher. I'm not much of a book reader. It wasn't until my high school teacher, my senior year, Jason Garr, he said, you know, you want to teach because you like to see other people create product. Maybe you should be an art teacher because you're good at it. And I just thought I could really do that. I could be an art teacher. And going to Fort Hays State University for 6 years and being educated in the sculpture and jewelry department and other areas, it came to fruition, and here I am. And so it's just kind of interesting how I didn't really think art was possible as a career, but it is. I really like watching kids produce art, much more than me doing my own art. I like three-dimensional art. I like the physicalness that we can create something with our hands, and it's not just flat paper, it's not flat canvas, it's not painting, but it's a combination of all that, you know, the planning, the pre-planning, the design, build-up, and then actually creating something physical that you can see in 3 dimension. In the middle school and high school, we do a lot of cardboard construction, mostly because it's cheap, but also because we can build something physical. And I just think that's really important. When I was in college, I did a lot of sculpture, bronze pouring, aluminum pouring in our foundry, and that just really excited me to create something that's three-dimensional. And I just think that is really neat to watch kids' minds work around the three-dimensionality of artwork. So that's one of my favorites. One of my least favorites is probably graphic design. I love the graphic design part, but being on the computer, to be honest, can be a little bit wearing, and kids eventually sometimes will say, hey, can we do some real art? And so we kind of shift gears to do real art, physical fine art, I suppose. So that's probably one of my least, is the graphic design computer component. I'm really fascinated by three-dimensional art, maybe mostly because we live in a three-dimensional world. We are three-dimensional people, and we live in three-dimensional houses. In our you know, every turn you get, every turn you make, every position you have, there's always a different view. And I think I'm just captivated by the visualness of that. It's not just always the same, like a flat painting looks the same from all angles. When you look at anything three-dimensional, even the basic form, it's always changing. I'm fascinated by small details with three-dimensional form, even with people that when you get a haircut or you get new glasses, just that changes one little aspect that's three-dimensional from all angles is fascinating. Our whole world is three-dimensional. So I just think that's intriguing to me, and there's little details that are important. It's all artistic. It's all art in any creation. We're creation. We're art created. So I really think that's fascinating.